welcome to the Ripple Effect Podcast. I'm Jessica Ausbrook from Solidarity Community Federal Credit Union, and we have a very special guest with us today. Kelly Hopkins is here from the Kokomo CEO program.
Kokomo CEO.
That's right. This is exciting. So the Kokomo CEO program, let's talk a little bit about what it is.
Well, in our world, CEO stands for creating entrepreneurial opportunities. So not typical to the business world. You know, CEO, obviously, people have a different reference for that. And so a lot of people get the idea that we're trying to create CEOs. We are, but we also are just setting these young adults up for creating entrepreneurial opportunities. So
It has been such a great program. I think 11th year, did you say?
this is the 11th year, yes.
The 11th year, and it's been successful so far, it sounds like. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about the students. Let's talk about your kids. Who is in your class this year? What exciting things are they doing?
Yeah, so this year I've got 16. We call them young adults.
Yeah,
We do
young
not
adults,
treat
I'm
them
sorry.
as kids.
I'm
This is
sorry.
an environment that is meant to be outside of school. We don't treat it like school. It's a professional environment. So we try to refer to them as young adults as much as we can. So I've got 16 young adults. They are from 6 different high schools. We've got Kokomo, Western, Northwestern, Lewis Cass, Taylor, and McConaughey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we've got a nice,
great.
solid group. Yeah.
Has it always been from the outer counties?
Yeah. Yep. No, I don't know. They typically don't get really large numbers of applicants from those, but I know the students this year, they've done a great job spreading the word, getting it out to younger individuals at their schools to have them apply. So
So you talked about kind of the goal of the program. We're teaching leaders. We're growing up our leaders, and no matter
Absolutely.
the industry that they're in.
Yep.
So how do we start that? What does the program look like? How do you start it?
So it's a year-long immersive entrepreneurial program. We never meet in a classroom. We are meeting in businesses. Our classroom is just different businesses in the community. They are generous enough to host us and allow us to use their spaces for our benefit. I don't even remember what the question was.
Where do we start at? That's where we start. Okay, so we're going to say they allowed us to use the businesses for our benefit.
Okay.
Okay, now I got to think you want to go after that?
I'll go.
Okay.
So throughout the year, we are either visiting businesses, and we're hearing from whether it's the owner, the CEO, an executive in the company. They're telling us their story. How did they get to where they are today? How did this company come about? The participants ask questions. You know, we have real interaction with these business leaders, and we learn a lot. It's cool to see the surprised faces of the young adults when they realize that these business leaders are just regular humans like we are. You know, they've worked to get to where they are, but that they have gone through struggles and they've dealt with things and, you know, gone through life, and they're willing to tell their story and share their experiences and how they got to where they are, and, you know, what it takes to be successful and whatnot.
So the program is set up in such a great way. You have students, like you mentioned, from all across Howard County, a few other counties as well, but do they still get a mentor?
Yes.
Okay, so
They
let's
each
talk
get a
about the
mentor.
mentoring.
Yes, love that part. So we've got people that have applied to be mentors, and sometimes, you know, they switch every year. We get new ones, some leave, whatever. But we go through, it's kind of like a speed dating type thing where we bring these mentors in, they go through, they can meet with different groups of them, and then the students get to pick their top 2 or 3. And then we try to, so Brad Priday is the one in charge of doing mentors. So him and I, you know, get together and try to best fit each mentor and mentee. And so they can utilize their mentor all year long. I mean, we do once a month mentor meetups where we will meet and each person will just get to hang out with their mentor. Sometimes they'll go in clusters and whatnot, but they can ask them for advice. They can have them help them with their business, whatever it is. Like, that mentor has agreed to let them use them as, you know, let them utilize them as somebody that they can come to, ask ask for advice, whatever it may be.
We have seen the evolution of the young adults into adulthood from the Kokomo CEO program. There's so many kids young adults who started here and now are here. And I think that's extra special. It keeps kids, I think, in Howard County.
Yep.
Keeps them around because it gets them those relationships with the business leaders in the community.
And that's exactly how CEO started. So it started in 2008 there in Effingham, Illinois. Yeah. Have you ever heard of that?
I have, only because I drove to St. Louis one time and I thought,
there you go.
That's an interesting name for a community.
Yeah. So they had some leaders that were trying to bridge the gap between these students that would graduate and go to college and then move to St. Louis or Chicago, other big cities and get jobs. And so they were trying to figure out how can we get these young adults to come back and be successful in their own community. And so that's how it started. I mean, they started this program where these young adults can learn that you can do this and be successful in your own community.
So now, do you always partner a mentor in the young adult, same industry, same interests? How does that work?
It just depends. This is my first year, so I've only had one experience with it. But sometimes you can see like the connection of just like the type of person that they are, the type of mentality they have. Maybe it is somebody that wants to go into the same industry that they're in. It just depends.
And there are so many great mentors I've known across the community from all sorts of organizations, people who are sitting in positions where they make big decisions on behalf of our communities or behalf of our citizens.
Absolutely.
You're getting right in there with them. I think that is awesome. So you talked that you had a gala a little while ago. How was that? Last week?
It was great. They did such a good job. It's so cool to see the feedback now. We're not even a week from when we had the gala. Am I supposed to?
You're fine.
Okay.
How about this? We'll say, I'm going to start over and I'm going to say, tell us about the gala. And you just say, we had it, we just won't reference any time. Okay, so here we go. Now, I know there are several different things throughout the year for the students. You recently came off the gala. When was that?
The gala was February 15th. We hosted that at the Hobson.
Oh, so pretty.
And they've been such a good partner. Anne at the Hobson, she's tremendous. She helped us with a lot of things. But traditionally, the class business has been like a summit where they get speakers in and they have different sessions. And so last year, with it being the 10th year, that group wanted to do something special for the 10th year. And so they did a gala last year. They had that at the venue. This year, as we started brainstorming, we wanted to do something similar. They didn't want to go back to the summit, but they wanted to do something similar, but something that had differences as well. And so, they landed on a gala. We had it at the Hobson. We had about 130, 140 people there.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of sponsors, some new businesses that ended up sponsoring the event. And then not all of the profits. There's a portion of the profits from the gala that will go back to the students.
Oh, great.
And they will get real money to start their personal business. And so that's what we're in the midst of right now.
That's kind of the goal. All this comes to fruition at the end of the year, and the trade show is kind of the crown jewel.
The trade show, yeah. So, like I said, they get money, real money that they can start a bank account with to get their personal business up and running. And so then on April 28th, we'll have the trade show. Each person will set up their own booth. They'll get to brand it, design it however they want to fit their business and their brand. And it will be open to the public for people to come and see these businesses and get to purchase the products or services that these young adults have created.
So can you give us any sneak peeks? Who's doing what, or maybe what is happening with some of those businesses?
Yeah, so it's funny. We've got most of the girls have their ideas solidified, but then we've got a big handful of the guys that are like, I don't know what I'm doing yet. It's funny. Today, they were like, maybe we should do a brainstorming session to help these guys out. They don't know what they're doing. And time is ticking. I mean, it's going to go quick. April will be here before we know it.
That's a lot to do.
They've got to present their business plans to bankers. We have Bankers Day coming up. They've got to present their business plans to them. So that's right around the corner.
Ooh, they better get ready then.
Absolutely.
They better get ready. Are there any of the businesses that are like, oh yeah, I'm in on that. I'm definitely getting on that on the ground floor for the student businesses?
We've got an individual that's going to do painted banners. I don't know if you've seen, it's kind of like the trend with parties, like Happy Valentine's Day or, graduation, birthday parties. We've got a young girl doing that. And so that's really exciting. I'm excited to see those. Some homemade candy, family recipe.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think there's an individual that wants to do something with like some collegiate wear, maybe promoting some, I don't know if it's like upcycles or something, but something relating to college sportswear.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
There was a young adult, oh gosh, it was before COVID, so whatever year that was. She made, and I thought this was the coolest thing, and it was the first time I'd ever seen anything like it. Now I see it lots of places. It was like a notebook that after you used it, you could plant it, and there were seeds in it, and it would grow. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, that's awesome. I've seen that. That's great.
It was like 8 years ago when she brought that.
Wow.
Yeah. The Kokomo CEO program is done nothing except build up our community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And at the gala, it's cool to see that the current business leaders, praising this group, saying like, this is the future of our community. This is the future of Kokomo. It's the future of the state of Indiana. It's the future of the country. So it's cool to see that they are willing to invest their money, their time, their resources into helping build this next group of entrepreneurs and leaders.
So we're going to talk about one of the people that I know who was a CEO student and now is involved with the program. We're not going to mention where he works, okay? But we are going to talk about Alec Downing. I met Alec Downing when he was, I think he was a junior, at the radio station, and he came to talk about the Kokomo CEO program, and then he interned with the Jackrabbits, and now he's with a local business, and I feel like I have watched him grow up, and I mean, he's only like 8 years younger than I am, but he has done so much, and he's a big part of the Kokomo CEO program.
He's a huge part. I mean, I call on Alec for lots of things. With this being my first year, I mean, he's gone through the program. He's been involved with the program. So he's somebody that I know I can trust and lean on when I need advice or direction or whatever it may be, but he's absolutely great.
Somebody can do backflip too. Sorry, Alec. I keep telling everybody that.
Alec, we're going to have to see this. We need to see the backflip.
He can. I promise he can. It's been a while since I saw it, though. So preparing for next year, the CEO program, do you have the class chosen already?
We've got the class chosen, yeah.
That happened fast.
It did. So applications were open for about a month, I think, and then there's a selection committee in the board that deals with going through all those applications, letter of recommendations, and so they solidified that not too long ago.
So how many students for next year?
18.
18 students from the same schools that you mentioned earlier?
Yes, we don't have any from Taylor, and I don't know that we have any. Yeah, we do have McConaughey. So we don't, and we have one from Eastern.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's nice to see. I mean, sometimes these students don't interact at all. They don't even know who each other are.
Yep.
I mean, you're a Kokomo kid, right?
They might, yeah.
Do you know a lot of kids from Eastern?
Sometimes I did.
Well, it's only because they're scared of you because they're so tall and good at sports.
And I'm just a social butterfly. But with social media, they might know who each other are, but they don't probably typically interact with each other.
So I know we're filled for the next school year. If there is maybe a parent or a student watching this and they're a sophomore, or maybe they are a junior and they're interested for their senior year, what do we do? How do we apply? What do we look for?
So first off, I would recommend coming to the trade show. Check out the trade show, see what some of the current students have worked on, ask them for advice, talk to them about their experience, and then I would follow Kokomo CEO on Facebook and Instagram, and we're keeping updated on when applications open, when they close, the deadline, all of that, and then obviously anybody can reach out via social media channels, and I can respond with any questions people have. Ask your counselors at school; they have relationships with us as far as getting information out. I'll do student recruitment next year, prior to applications opening and closing. So we try to get out to different schools and get people interested and kind of bring current students in to give them a rundown of what's going on, what are we doing, and influence them to be in the program, because maybe you don't want to own your own business. Maybe you don't want to be a CEO, but you learn so many more skills other than just being a business leader. You learn communication,
you might not own a
networking.
business. You're going to work with them, though.
Exactly. Exactly. And we talk about that a lot. A lot of our mentors say, like, you don't always have to, these mentors are available for all of us. So maybe it's not your mentor, but maybe you ask your mentor, hey, do you know somebody that does this? And that person probably knows 25, 50 other people, so just building that network of people is so important. And those are skills that they're learning.
I'm going to throw you for a loop here, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you have lots of connections around Kokomo, and we know the former leaders of this program, Morgan Young, Brandon Bishop, pretty special people.
Yeah,
What do you think it was about you that they chose you to be the leader of this program?
Well, I have to shout out Angela Blessing, because she's the one that saw the potential in me, and it took me by surprise. I was not expecting this, but
I love that.
I coached her son on the boys volleyball team last year, which was super exciting.
Boys volleyball, I missed that. That's a conversation
That's a whole
for another
conversation. But yeah, she reached out to me and basically was like, "Do you want to be a teacher?" And I was like, "No, no." She was like, this isn't a regular teacher. It's a cool teacher.
You should feel very complimented by that.
Oh, I am.
Good.
I still sometimes am like, Angela, what did you see in me?
So was she principal when you went to high school there?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, but so she was just like, I think you'd be great for this role. And so, I had to go through interviews and go the whole 9 yards, and here I am.
I like it. When you're speaking to the community, what do you need from us? What can we do for the CEO program?
Yeah, so if you are interested in hosting Kokomo CEO at your business, if you'd like to come talk to the class, reach out. Please reach out. We're always looking for new businesses that we can connect with, especially with different interests. We've gone to boutiques, and the boys are like, "Oh, we're going to boutique," but then they come out and they're like, "That's really cool. I learned a lot." Not even specifically to a boutique, but just from the owner in general. But supporting and obviously monetarily is great. You can be an investor in the program. If you're interested in being a mentor, that's great too. Those change every year. So new mentors, if you just want to talk, if you just want to hang out, stop by, reach out, figure out where we're at that day. But becoming an investor or just letting us visit your business or just connect with you in any way, that'd be great.
All right. So we're finding you Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram, Kokomo CEO.
Kokomo CEO. Kelly Hopkins, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
This was fun, wasn't it?
So much fun.
I bet we should probably do it again, shouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we'll have to hear about the next class sometime.
Yes.
I'm Jessica Ausbrook. This is thanks to Solidarity Community Federal Credit Union. Thanks so much for watching The Ripple Effect.
Thank you.